read 148 books this year, and we're going to review them within 1 to 2 sentences. With that being said, obviously this is going to go a little fast, so let's go through these. Readying my vocal cords, cracking open the essential. That went down. That went down in the worst way possible. We've got my best friend here to help me review. I've got all of the books pulled up in my list. And with all that being said, we're ready to review these 148 books. The way that I'm doing this year is I am just going to go through the order in which I read these books. Last year, I just separated them into like series, genres, and stuff like that. This year, I am just going through what I read because watching it that way was a little bit confusing. Should I do the Goodreads thing? Should we do the Goodreads thing? Where is my phone? I've been seeing people do like the Goodreads Wrapped that somebody else like did, and you basically contact it so we can see some of my analytics. So let me do that so we can break down some analytics because I know that you guys like seeing that. Okay, I finally figured it out. Oh, this is so fun. It's doing this cool little thing like how your Spotify Wrapped does. Okay, so this is my year in books. On Goodreads, it says 141 books. There were a few books that I logged that just weren't logging on my Goodreads, and I don't know why, but I literally spanned out all of the books on my Notion, and it's 148. It says my minutes read was 105,291 minutes. Let's look up how many days that is. So that's roughly about like 73 days. So I have like 73 days of reading. My top genres were romance, contemporary, and fantasy. So I read 112 romance, 81 contemporary, and 52 fantasy. My top author was Sarah J. Maas. I read 12 of her books this year, and I was really confused, but then I remember the Throne of Glass series is like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I read ACOTAR, which is 9, Achamoth, which is 10, ACOWAR, which is 11, A Court of Frost and Starlight, which is 12, and then I read House of Sky and Breath, and then I reread Crescent City, the first one, so that's actually 16 of her books I read. Am I doing the math right? I literally don't know if I am. Just ignore me, ignore me. I don't know what to make with literally any of that data, so do with that what you will. Let's get into the reviewing. It literally took me 5 minutes to find that website and to figure out how to copy my Goodreads user profile. Literally what is going on. Here is the bad thing. Every stack starts on the bottom. So I really don't know why I did it this way. I don't know why I did this. OMG. Guys, as I was putting these books up, I have been searching for these books. I literally thought I lost them. Okay. We're testing my strength to see if I can take this whole entire stack down at one time. I did it. As I review these, I'm just going to put them back up. Starting off the year with a bang, we have House of Sky and Breath. This title is correct. It is absolutely breathtaking. I am absolutely in shambles after reading this book. Rating? 5 stars. The Cruel Prince. Again, this title is right. These characters are absolutely cruel and I really hate them. 2 stars. The Wicked King. I literally can't remember pretty much any of the plot of this book. 2 stars. The Queen of Nothing. All I remember about this book is that there is a big snake. Rating 2 stars. A Little Life. The best book that I will never recommend. Rating 5 stars. Caraval. Very easy, fun, magical, had a great time. 3 stars. I'm Glad My Mom Died. One of the best memoirs I have actually ever read, and it gave me a lot of insight into some of the child acting and the harms of it. And I also don't rate memoirs, so anytime you see a memoir pop up, there's no rating. Part of Your World. Small town, there's literally a goat, and I think the relationship was really good. 4.5 stars. Second First Impression. Literally, why is every single person in this book really mean towards the main character? I DNF'd it. Also, I do want to say this right now. My reading, my rules, if I read more than 50%, definitely 60% of a book and then end up DNFing, I still count it as a book read because I spent a lot of time reading the book, and since it's my personal reading, I count it. Tomorrow, and Tomorrow. I love the 80s atmosphere. I love the friendships and relationships in this book, and I really like the video game aspect. 4.5 stars. The Housemaid. Super fast paced. Every single chapter something was going on, and every chapter ends on a cliffhanger, and I was really entertained. Rating 4 stars. Carrie Soto is back. This is somebody who literally knows nothing about tennis, and it had me very entertained. And I feel like this describes struggles of womanhood, especially like in the public eye, whether that's with sports or pretty much anything, and how people are going to perceive you. 4.75 stars. Lessons in Chemistry. I didn't have the appreciation for this at first, but as I've sat on this book, I really came to appreciate it because, again, I feel like it definitely talks about womanhood and the struggles of womanhood and kind of what it feels like to be a woman in male-dominated aspects aspects in life, and I really, really liked it. 3.75 stars. The Stolen Heir. This just kind of felt like a copy and paste of the Cruel Prince trilogy, and if you like that, that's going to be great for you. Rating 2 stars. Say You Swear. This is Wattpad at its finest, and I'm okay with it. Actually, in love with it. Rating 5 stars. Life's Too Short. This book wasn't too short. I really, really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the storyline and the couple and their little like wittiness about each other. 4.5 stars. The Final Offer. Second chance romance, but make it billionaires, so everything's a little bit more fun. 4.5 stars. There's also a lot of emotional depth to that book as well. 7 Days in June. I really liked the writing of this book. Felt like it had amazing quotes, and I just don't remember a lot of this book, if I'm being honest. 3 stars. The Friend Zone. I feel like we focused more towards like the 50% mark on a whole entire storyline that had nothing to do with the main character. Also, this book is a book that has the main character having a significant other, and the only problem with that person that makes you not want to root for them is that they have like a job. 3 stars. The Chase. The main guy in this book quite literally calls the female love interest the B word on multiple occasions. 1 star. The Predator. I don't remember a single thing about this book, and it was this long. I rated it a 1.5. The Happy Ever After playlist. Pop star romance, text message, there's a golden retriever, it's very wholesome and sweet. 4 stars. The Do-Over. The title of this book is super true. It is very cute and fun. I love Lynn Painter's books, but this book felt extremely repetitive. And that's what usually happens with this type of trope, which is like the Groundhog Day trope where you're living the same day over and over again. I feel like I can't really rate those highly because they tend to be very repetitive. 3 stars. Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. This title again is right. It was very cute and sweet. Easy read. 3 stars. Time to get down another stack. Set on You. A very cute romance that takes place in the gym primarily, and I just thought it was fun. 3 stars. X's and O's. This is about a book influencer, and I thought it was cute. Didn't really root for the couple though. 3 stars. Saving Six. I love this series so much, but this book was basically Binding 13 copy and pasted into a different point of view. 4 stars. The Hating Game. This somehow went from a 5 star to a 2 star. What's up with all the Smurfs and talking about how the female main character is just so tiny? 2 stars. The Unhoneymooner. This book went from a 5 stars to a 1 star. There's absolutely no chemistry in this couple. The guy is kind of awful. 1 star. Love in Other Words. Elliot and Macy are literally the blueprint, a bookish couple, childhood friends to lovers, then and now plotline. I absolutely adore this book. 5 stars. Beechery. I'm overwhelmed that you exist. That's it. That's the review. 5 stars. Daisy Jones and the Six. If these tabs don't tell you enough, I guess I will. This book is absolutely amazing. I love it so much. I feel like it speaks on so many different things. I love the time era, and this book has always reminded me of Fleetwood Mac, which I think is the whole entire thing about it. I love the TV show. I love the book. You need to read it. 5 stars. Binding 13 and Keeping 13. Again, if the tabs don't tell you, I will. I absolutely love these. These are a found family trope. It is a very emotional romance. There's some triggering things. I'm going to put the trigger warnings right here for this series, but I absolutely love this series so much. Both a 5 star. Crown of Midnight. Continuation Slay. It's a continuation of a series, so I can't say much about it. 4 stars. The Assassin's Blade. Prequel slay. 4 stars. Things We Hide from the Light. I honestly didn't expect a lot from this book because I didn't go in loving the main guy character, but it kind of felt like a murder mystery cop rom-com, and I had a fun time reading it. 4 stars. Secretly Yours. DNF'd it. Air of Fire. When he punches you in the face. 5 stars. Queen of Shadows. Reunions, tension, build-up, storyline. 4.5 stars. By a Thread. The emails. And the banter. But more importantly, the emails. And it also really made me want to read Pride and Prejudice. 5 stars. I'm slowly losing daylight, which is not a great thing. The sun is literally going down. The sunset is literally so beautiful. I actually have to go look at it for a second. Give me a sec. Once Upon a Broken Heart. A fairy tale, but where you fall for the bad guy. 4.5 stars. The Ballad of Never After. The ending of this book alone is why you should read it. 5 stars. Empire of Storms. Talk about tension. Very mastermind coded. As well as I was fully sobbing in my pillow after finishing this book and could not recollect myself. 5 stars. Tower of Dawn. Extremely, extremely boring. I'm sorry. 3 stars. Next stack. Kingdom of Ash. If perfection needed a book next to it in the dictionary, it would be this. 5 stars. Kingdom of the Wicked. No. 1 star. Flawless. Introduced me to cowboy romances, and I will never be sorry for that. 4 stars. Heartless. I absolutely loved this couple, my favorite couple of the entire series, and I love the micro trope of the guy paying attention to the girl and doing small gestures to show that he pays attention to her. 4.75 stars. Powerless. Take a cowboy romance, put it with a hockey romance, and they've been childhood friends forever. 4 stars. Redeeming 6. Gave a lot of backstory, showed more stuff, and took a peek into what's coming for the series. Really, really loved this. 4.5 stars. Magnolia Parks. Talk about a redemption arc. 4 stars. Daisy Hates. Introduced me to Julian Hates, and thank you so much for that. 4 stars. Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home. Ripped my heart out. Everything was very unexpected, but I was also annoyed at certain parts in this book. 4 stars. I feel like I should also tell you guys that this series has the biggest miscommunication trope you've ever seen. Heartless. She wanted to be a baker. That's all she wanted. 3 stars. Yours truly. Anxiety representation in the relationship was very, very wholesome. 4.75. Billy Summers by Stephen King. Every single time that I picked up this book, I was interested in what was going on, but it was kind of the start of my book slump. 4 stars. The Serpent and Wings of Night. Take Hunger Games, but put it with a bunch of vampires and one mortal person, human person, and add some angst and romance and tension in there, and you would have this book. 4.5 stars. Daisy Hates The Great Undoing. Julian Hates. And the quotes. The writing. 5 stars. One of my favorite books of the year. 6 Scorched Roses. I think this is genuinely like the best novella I have ever read. 4 stars. Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. This one disappointed me a little bit because I feel like the storyline and the romance fell off. 4 stars. Happy Place by Emily Henry. What a book. Made me extremely happy. Please, 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 please read this. It talks about friendship, self-discovery, relationships, and just trials of life. Please read this. I'll Stop the World. I should have stopped reading this book. 1 star. The Off Limits Rule. I don't remember a whole lot about this. This book's very short, and I think it was a little cringy to me. 2 stars. Daughter of No Worlds. This book kind of was giving cozy fantasy, and then the end spiked up out of nowhere, and I was really enjoying the romance. 4 stars. Time to take down another stack. Fourth Wing. Single-handedly got me out of my book slump this year. Also made me fall in love with dragons and the college, and I really loved the romance. 5 stars. The Brightest Light of Sunshine. This was just kind of cringy to me, and it was an age gap. 2 stars. Once More with Feeling. This main character was actually very, very unbearable. 1 star. Me at the Lake. Why do we keep doing this trope? Also, I feel like I saw absolutely none of their relationship. 2 stars. When in Rome. Very cute, small town, and I feel like the guy was grumpy, but in the best way. 4 stars. Practice Makes Perfect. Again, small town, and the main character loved romance books. 4 stars. Vicious. Very, very entertaining, but some parts were just kind of more boring and lackluster to me. 3 stars. She Started It. The characters were unbearable in the absolute worst way possible, to the point where it literally sucked to read about them, but I thought the plot twist was good. 2 stars. Hotel Nantucket. Definitely my favorite Ellen Hildebrand book. I feel like I literally was there. I could picture the characters. I felt like I was literally in their life, and it was like kind of a movie in my brain. I could imagine it very, very well. 4 stars. Rock Bottom Girl. I was really frustrated reading a lot of this book, and it felt very immature to me. 3 stars. The True Love Experiment. DNF. I didn't like it. This couple felt purely physical, and none of it felt like actual chemistry between them. Love Theoretically. I loved Jack so much, and I loved the chemistry between this couple, and I loved the like side plot that was going on. 4.75. Reckless. Live, Laugh, Love, Theo. 4.5. Done and Dusted. Super fun and cowboy. 3 stars. Bonus points for this cover though. One of my favorite covers of the entire year. The Last Word. Definitely my favorite thriller of the entire year. Loved the plot. Very suspenseful, and I really liked it. Obviously, 5 star. I also read Until I Find You, a random book that I read on Kindle Unlimited that I have kind of no recollection of reading, but I remember a few spotty things, and the few things that I remember of the book were absolutely unhinged, but I gave it a 2 star. Reread ACOTAR. 5 stars. Very nostalgic. Reread Asimov. Certain Winged Male. That is absolutely everything to me. 5 stars. The Last Letter. This book made me uncontrollably sob. 4 stars. And then I read this book, Inseparable, again, another random Kindle Unlimited book, and I actually felt like I had been on a roller coaster with the amount of actual whiplash that this book gave me. It really took me back to my days of being up at 3 a.m. reading on Wattpad, back when the authors would throw in literally every single trope that you could care to throw in that was just completely mind-boggling. Honestly, it was a really entertaining time. I gave it 2 stars. Behind the Net. When the guy freaks out in his head when he sees you for the first time and he's obsessed with you, but in a healthy way. 4.5 stars. The Naturals. Criminal Minds, but make it children. Not children. Teenagers. 4 stars. The Killer Instinct. This is when the romance subplot starts to really go in, and I really liked that and the storyline that we were following. 4.5. All In. Absolutely loved the romance. Absolutely loved the storyline in this book and how it built up for the last one. 5 stars. Next stack. Children of Fallen Gods. This book really fell. Really fell. 3 stars. Was bored for majority of the book. Vengeful. Just felt like I read the same exact book, Vicious, and was not really interested. 2 stars. Then She Was Gone. I guess the plot twist 20 pages in this book really was just kind of dark and depressing. 2 stars. To Love, Jason Thorne. Cringy and toxic. 2 stars. Bad Blood. Absolutely loved this book. Loved the romance. Loved the plot. I feel like I've said it for all of these. 5 stars. Favorite book of the entire series. Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. This book was kind of a peculiar read for me because I was kind of like, I would literally be laughing out loud by how dumbfounded I was that stuff was happening in this book, but I still enjoyed it. 3 stars. Mile High. This guy sucks. DNF. Divine Rivals. This romance is so sweet and I feel like they love we're just gonna roll with it. I feel like they loved each other so genuinely and I really loved like the letters aspect of this book. 4.5 stars. The 7-Year Slip. Absolutely loved the couple, the quotes, the writing, the messages, everything about this book. 5 stars. Out on a Limb. I loved the way that this relationship transpired and really showed the need for boundaries, communication, friendship within relationship. 4.5 stars. The Right Move. I absolutely love Ryan Shea. He is the best. 4 stars. Wrong Place, Wrong Time. Time travel, mix it with a thriller, and I remember the plot twist being really good to me in this book. 3 stars. Next of Kin. Very short and easy read. 3 stars. The Inmate. I guessed every plot twist of this book and it just was kind of bad. 1 star. The Turn of the Key. The plot twist of this book was not rewarding enough for what I had to go through when reading it. 2 stars. A Flicker in the Dark. Again, guessed the plot twist of the book, but it wasn't terrible. I had a good time. 3 stars. The Only One Left. I liked the Lizzie Borden style storyline that was going on, and I liked the atmosphere, and the writing is good. 3.5 stars. I have slowly started to give up after those books fell. Blonde Identity. It's literally just spies having fun and there being a romance. I feel like this could be a movie with Glenn Powell starring in it. 3 stars. The Cellar. No. This was very triggering. It was not very good and it wasn't written the best and I just kind of found it cringy. 1 star. Forget Me Not. I kind of forgot that I read this book to be honest, but I do remember them technically only liking each other in the present tense for like 3% of the book. 3.5. The Grace Year. This book was so peculiar in the absolute best way and I loved the ending. 4 stars. Things We Left Behind. One of my biggest disappointing reads of the year. Communicate like adults. I am actually begging you. The fighting was entertaining from other people's point of view, but it gets very tiring within your own book the entire time. 3 stars. Red Rising. I literally still do not know what to rate this book. I read this months ago. I think that it was good, but I felt dumb and confused for most of it, and I don't know what that means. I still don't have a rating. The Long Game. This book was cute. I really liked the guy in it. I liked the small town aspect of it. It was very cozy, and I actually liked the kids in this book. 4 stars. The Brothers Hawthorne. This could have been a 150-page novella, no doubt. 3 stars. None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. This book was very suspenseful and had me on the edge of my seat. I was literally hooked. Read basically a lot of it in one sitting. It was really good. 4.5 stars. Summer Sisters talks about friendship and what happens as you grow through a friendship of somebody that you've known from a young age, which I really liked, and it's kind of told throughout the perspective of their summer spent together. 4 stars. Akabor. Reread it. Obviously 5 stars. A Court of Frost and Starlight. This is like a Christmas special of your favorite TV show. 5 stars. If We Were Villains, I feel like I would appreciate this book more if I knew about Shakespeare. The good thing about this book and it being dark academia is that the characters were not insufferable. 3.5. In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. This is an example of characters being unbearable in the absolute worst way possible and the plot twist wasn't even worth it. 2 stars. Ninth House. A lot of triggering subjects. The book is kind of very dark and I didn't love it and it took me a very long time to read. 3 stars. The Secret History. Huge DNF. Done talking about it. Hopeless. Bo carried this book on his back. He stepped up to the plate 100%. 4 stars. Caught Up. I didn't know that I could like a book with a single dad trope. Not really my jam, but this one was really good. I really liked the guy. 4.5 stars. Okay guys, we're on to our last stack. Can you believe it? A Curse for True Love. Absolutely. I was very disappointed by this book, but it wasn't bad. Just wasn't at all what I was expecting. 4 stars. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. The absolute most long and tongue-twisting title that I have read this year. Cute, magical. 3 stars. My Roommate is a Vampire. I thought it was really cute for what it is. 4 stars. Wildfire. I really liked Russ, and I liked how he showed that he really paid attention to the female main character in this book. 4 stars. Red, White, and Royal Blue. I was interested for the first like 100 pages, and then this book got really boring for me. 2 stars. The Prison Healer. I was bored for very much a huge majority of this book. 2.5 stars. Love Redesigned. Second chance romance, childhood friends. He's kept up with her for years even when they're not speaking, and I'm gonna eat it up every time. 4.5 stars. I really loved it. We have 2 memoirs back to back. First of all, I read Matthew Perry's memoir and absolutely loved it. I love Matthew Perry and the insight of a lot of things that were happening in his life. I really enjoyed listening to it and seeing and hearing his story. Same thing with Britney Spears. I've always loved Britney Spears, and reading this really just got me to my core, and it's just so heartbreaking to listen to, and the effects of paparazzi and what it had on her, and some of the pressures that I put and idealize on these women pop stars and what the media does to them to break them down. Iron Flame. The biggest L of the year goes to this book. This book was an absolute fumble, and I really just didn't like most of it. Why are we arguing? Literally the entirety of the book, and I hated the ending. 3 stars. King of Pride. It was just boring. 2 stars. King of Greed. Wow, the guy in this book just doesn't get it, and I don't have hope that he ever will. And also I was very frustrated with the female main character the entire book. Check and Mate, DNF. I just thought that this book talked about way too many sexual things for it to be a young adult book, and I know that there are arguments about it being young adult, but the audience for this book is 14 years and up, and I just don't feel like it's very appropriate, so I DNF'd it. The Storied Life of AJ Fickery. This book feels like a warm hug. I love it so much. It is so cozy, and I could really imagine everything that was happening in this book very well, and I loved the writing. 4.5. Powerless, Enemies to Lovers. It's very much like the Hunger Games, but it's enemies to lovers when one of them is a simp for the other one. There's a lot of knife to the throat moments, which sounds very peculiar if you're not somebody that reads fantasy, or if you're a part of my family. You may now be wondering what on earth I am reading in my books. This. 4.5 stars. Really loved it. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I was really interested for probably the first like 30-40% of the book, and then it really all went downhill from there. 3 stars. I reread the Hunger Games trilogy to relive some of my childhood. Hunger Games was a 3.5. Catching Fire was a 4. I absolutely love the storyline of this book, and Mockingjay was a 3. Mockingjay has never been my favorite. Then I read Foul Lady Fortune, and I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed all the different point of views and the build up and storyline of this book. 4 stars. Foul Heart Huntsman. I loved this storyline even more than I loved the first one, and it has all the same characters. 4.5 stars. The Lost Ticket. This is such a heartwarming book, and there is a subplot of romance that I really didn't expect, but I really loved. 4 stars. The last book of the year that I read was a reread. I reread House of Earth and Blood and gave it a 5 stars upon the reread. I originally rated this a 4 star, but I have a newfound appreciation for it because I wasn't confused reading it this time, and I noticed a lot of things that I didn't upon my first time reading it, and I am so excited to reread House of Sky and Breath, and then to read the new one, so 5 stars. Those are all 148 books rated and reviewed in just a few sentences. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you guys read this year, and if you enjoyed today's video, you guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff that you guys know how to do. And I would say I will see you guys next year, but I am seeing you guys at the start of the year. Imagine I said see you guys next year and I just don't post for an entire year. I would never. I'm not. Don't you worry, I'm probably going to be here a lot in January because there's always a lot of content to put out in January. So you shall be seeing this face soon. I'll see you guys when I see ya. Peace. I just kind of slammed that hard.